That much on the beat.
Hey, let's go with 4 driving, man.
It's gonna be a curveball first in the game.
Oh, you got that.
Oh, man. Ooh, guys, I thank y'all for coming in. We're doing our summer series, recapping all these great season 2 state qualifiers right here. But man, it's been some long days out there.
You sound like you've been working out or something, Tom.
Oh yeah, man, I just got from the gym, you know.
Is that why you're holding the backpack up so you can flex the bicep?
Yeah, you know, get my swole on. Y'all impressed?
No, not at all.
No, I'm more impressed with these. You know, we're soccer coaches. You got to have legs, not just arms.
Oh my goodness. I guess I can't kick it.
All right, this week on the JS Report, my take one, I got an interview a couple weeks ago with Chase Michael and Noel Rosso from Millington Central High School Trojans, just to talk about the season that they had. A successful, great season for the Millington Trojans, and that's my take one this week, and we'll go to that now. Two-sport athlete Chase Michael joins me. Chase, welcome to the JS Report. Chase, just talk about, first of all, your season as a Millington Trojan for the soccer program.
It was honestly great. You know, we had a rough start trying to figure out where to play who and what formation to play, but in the end, we kind of figured it out. We were on a roll those last 8-9 games, you know.
Yeah, so talk about, you know, you went from defense to offense this year, and you scored like, it felt like 45 goals at one point maybe, but it felt like that anyway, because you were like, when they call it on NBA Jam, you're on fire, you know, back in the game. But you were just on fire for the Millington Trojans, scoring all those goals lately for the Millington Trojan soccer team. I know without your players, you wouldn't be in that position, first of all. But just talk about your accomplishment throughout the year, scoring all those goals to help your Trojans throughout the year.
So I think like the first 6 games, I was playing center defensive midfield. You know, it was kind of rough because I only scored 4 goals, so I was kind of doubting myself, losing a little confidence there. But me and Coach had a conversation, and we were just like, we got to find a way to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And what we had, we were building it up. Everything was there except the finishing. We needed someone to finish it. So Coach kind of put a little trust in our other midfielders and moved me back up to striker because that's where I play for my club team.
Yeah.
So he just said, go score. He said, we aren't going to win unless you score goals.
Right. And just talk about, you know, I know you're a two-sport athlete. You play under your dad, Coach Chris Michael, the football coach at Millington, as well as a kicker, right?
Yeah.
So just talk about how you're doing both soccer and football during this crazy springtime.
So actually it starts in the fall.
Okay.
So usually it goes, I come out of school, 2:30, I practice. I kick field goals. I leave right after that, go to club practice on Monday. Tuesday, it's a full football practice.
Yeah.
Wednesday, kick, club practice, and then Thursday, you know, it's pregame. And then we'll have a game Friday.
Yeah.
And then I have a tournament the weekend after. So it's nonstop every single day.
Absolutely. But just how do you manage your schedule? Like, what's your sleeping schedule like, first of all?
I get sleep when I get sleep, you know?
Yeah.
But in the springtime, it ain't that bad because I don't play spring football.
Okay. Well, spring workouts, but you know.
Well, usually I just lift weights with them until we start conditioning.
So how does it feel like to play for your dad?
It's great, but it's also a lot of pressure, and it's real hard on me. So, you know.
Well, that's what fathers do. They just want to say, son, I love you to death.
Yeah.
But I'm going to treat you like not only you're my son, but you're also one of these teammates, you know, that you need to be a mentor to.
Yeah.
And just be there for, you know?
Yeah.
But just give me like a favorite road game for soccer up to date first, and then give me a road favorite football game that you've experienced all few years so far at Millington.
I like going to Covington to play. You know, it's a good atmosphere. It's a lot of trash talking.
Fire trucks.
But I think my favorite road game would have to be FACS last year. They had a beautiful field, and I scored 5 goals on their field. The goalie was talking mess, so yeah, it's been some more.
My favorite road football game.
Football game, I like going to Mumford to play. It's a big crowd. It's a fun game. Might always come out the way we want it to, but it's always a fun game.
You like hearing that Rocky talk?
No.
But yeah, favorite M&M Bowl. You know that it's always fun to go to. Just the fans are always packing it out, like you mentioned. You know, it's always a fun rivalry game. They always throw out the records, and they're always friends after. They probably grew up playing against each other, or just a friendship over the years as well.
Yeah.
Just talk about your favorite. I mean, you went to the state tournament as a Millington Trojan. Just talk about how does that feel going to state?
It feels amazing. You know, the first time being at that level in school soccer, for the first time in school history, is pretty amazing. And I felt honored that coach made me captain, and we got to lead the team to state for the first time. But it wasn't the first time I've been there. We went to state for club, same field, same exact field.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you're used to that field a little bit.
We got knocked out first round in PK, so it kind of gave me a little flashbacks, but nothing I'm worried about.
But still, it's something to grow on. Like I talked about with Noel. It's something to grow on. The tough schedule y'all had this year as well, non-conference with the Mumford, the Brighton, the SBA, and all them. Like your dad does. He does a decent, tough non-conference schedule to get y'all ready, for the postseason.
Yeah.
Whatnot. And it's just going to help teams in the long run, like I told y'all off air. All it does is help teams grow, non-stop throughout the year and get y'all ready for the postseason and whatnot. So any Twitter or Instagram where people can follow you at?
My Instagram is chase.michhh05, and my Twitter is chase_Michael13.
And Coach Michael, please take care of your son. Give him some rest for the next few days. He'll need it. Chase, thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, this week, Noel Rostro. Noel, welcome to the JS Report. Noel, how does it feel? First of all, talk about your season as a Millington Trojan, your junior year playing soccer.
Well, to be honest, it was a great experience. We had lots of hardships we had to go through, and we really worked hard to get to where we are right now as a soccer program. And I loved playing with my teammates. They all did something into the team, and it was just an overall great experience.
All right. Just talk about you play just soccer, right, for the school. How do you balance your school schedule and your soccer schedule? I know it's kind of hard because you're going nonstop till at least 4 o'clock, 4:30 every day. Like, do you do any extracurricular activities after soccer? You just go straight to your homework, or how do you plan your day basically?
Well, to be honest, soccer is like my main thing I do. So when I go to school, I just make sure I got everything done, make sure I got all my work. For the most part, I did, throughout the whole year. Soccer's only in the spring though, so during the winter and fall, I'm usually just trying to get better, improving for the next season. And I get all A's. I'm a straight A student. It's easy to balance soccer and school, but it's
early morning. Wake up call, 5 a.m. wake up call, get a protein shake in you, and then you're on the grind, huh?
At 5 a.m. At 5 a.m. I usually wake up, I get ready for school, or sometimes I just get a quick workout in. My coach inspired me by him waking up early in the morning, so I usually wanted to do that too.
Okay.
Just make sure to get some work in before school starts.
Get that extra mile running.
Yeah, that way. So after school, when we go to practice and stuff and conditioning, I know our other captain, Chase, wasn't there during conditioning because he had club.
Right.
But we were. I was there since the beginning, and to be honest, it was hard from the start. But as we progressed, it got easier and better, and I could see the whole team developing together and bonding, conditioning together, getting stronger and faster.
Keep grinding, doing that, man. Appreciate you doing that. Just talk about a favorite road game that you've experienced all throughout your soccer career so far.
Probably the best road game I had was it was against this Covington team this year. The reason why is because we've been having a sort of district rivalry with Covington mostly, and they were the best opponents in our district. And
They were.
yeah,
Love it.
last year we beat them, and there was a sort of a conflict in the fans. So going to them this year was even better because then we get to experience their type of fans in the stands, and it was very interesting. But we ended up winning.
I know y'all didn't win the state first round game, but it's all about going to the state tournament and first time in school history as a Millington Trojan. I hate to bring up the score, but y'all lost 6-0. But just talk about how did it feel going to state.
I mean, it felt great knowing that I was one of the first captains to lead a team to the state championship. But honestly, it showed us that even though we were a great team this year and we improved a lot, that we still got a lot to work on, and it's just next level up there when you go to state. So I hope this is a learning experience for all of us and all of our teammates, and for our coach mostly, who was his first year coaching, which is a great accomplishment for him, just for us to develop as a team. And I feel like this is the start of a great soccer club for Millington. Maybe over the years we might get a state title. You never know.
Well, is there any social media platforms anybody can follow you at?
Any social media platform, probably my Instagram.
What you got?
Noel_Rostro, and my that's pretty much it.
You got Twitter?
I don't have Twitter.
Okay. Noel joins me on the JS Report. Thank you for your time, Noel.
Thank you.
All right, my take two this week. People can call him a legend now around Millington. Coach Everson, congratulations on a successful, great season for the Millington Trojans.
Thank you so much.
Coach Everson, just talk about with your background just a little bit. Tell people more about you, if you don't mind.
I went to Millington myself for 4 years. Played soccer all 4 years. Wasn't as good as my boys are now, but I played left wing and striker whenever I played. Wasn't one of them guys who could have made it anywhere. I was just fast, you know. So tore my ankle my senior year. That was about the end of it for me. And then I went to Ole Miss for my academic scholarship and graduated with a business management degree, a minor in entrepreneurship. Then came back. One of my former teachers had said that there was a sub position open. Came back to Millington. That trickled down into me coming back into the soccer program. So I was able to watch the boys play there the previous season before this one. I was around and then stepped over, and then here we are now.
Where did you graduate from Millington?
2016.
So we got two young coaches in the building tonight. Pretty impressive what y'all done, for the Millington program. Just talk about how soccer it is now between when you played. What's the difference between the two?
Well, I think now the sport itself is now picking up more traction in the States, and now it's becoming more popular and now more accepted, because for a while, like, soccer was kind of looked at as, why would you do that when you could play baseball, basketball, football, or something like that. So soccer now is becoming, like, more accepted. It's for comparison, we played on like some old fields in a park to where now they're playing on football fields and turf fields. So it's slowly getting better and better throughout the years.
Absolutely. So just talk about this season. Y'all had a great season. Y'all, I hate to bring it up to you, but y'all lost in the first round of the state tournament.
I'm saying.
But just talk about the season. Y'all had a great season. Y'all played some great non-conference scheduled games and competed with the national. I call it a tough non-conference schedule just to get your guys ready for the postseason.
Yeah.
But just talk about some successful wins that y'all had in the regular season.
So we started out kind of rocky in our preseason. We won one, lost one, tied one. Then we played East, Mumford, and Bolton throughout that time. And so we went throughout the whole season, we went through about 3 or 4 different formations. Finally got to one whenever we hit Brighton and Covington that we liked. And that's whenever we hit that 8-9 game win streak going up until the tournament. And so we took some tough losses. I know we lost to White Station. That was a good humbling experience for us. We came back and we played a very good game versus Crosstown. And that was the game that kind of opened up our eyes where my boys were like, okay, we can compete. And so we kind of took that momentum, had a rocky game versus Brighton. We tied that 1-1, but from that point on, it was just all green flags from there.
I talked to McCoy a couple weeks ago with Thomas. Also, McCoy came on a little bit strong as well throughout the year for you. McCoy Pugh, a two-sport athlete from Millington. Just talk about his presence, how he kind of helped the program this year.
So McCoy was a defender, but since I watched his football, his junior year of football, and he does a lot of running and takes a lot of hits, I figured if he were to play defense, he might be a little bit of a caution for us in the box. I didn't want to foul nobody in the box, so I told McCoy, I'm gonna put you out there on the wing, you're left-footed, and I know you can cross with your left foot, so let's see what you can do. And he his intrinsic motivation itself is out of this world, and he took that and became, I think he was number 2 or 3 in goals scored and number 2 in assists on the team. So he went from a kid who football's his number 1 sport, but he went from a kid that kind of just played soccer with his friends to somebody who kind of helped carry the team onto the state tournament.
Then another player who I said was on the fire, NBA Jam back in the day, video game day, was on fire, Mr. Chase Michael.
So Chase Michael that's actually one of the best players I've seen come through Millington personally. My whole team, I got a whole bunch of boys out there that can play, but Chase Michael specifically started this season out slow because he was in the midfield to start off, and then he kept on saying, "Coach,
move me to offense."
Yeah, he, like throughout the whole year, he was giving me formation where he was striker, and I needed to make sure that we can move the ball through the midfield before I moved him up to striker. And then once we got that down, that's when he hit that streak of scoring, I think, 28, 29 goals.
5 games it felt.
And he didn't he started off pretty slow because the first couple games he didn't score. He might have had 2 or 3 assists every game, but for the first couple he didn't score at all. And he hit that tear at the end where seemed like he was getting a hat trick every game. So it was a great season for him.
Okay, I saw where y'all had a sub-state game at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
How can I know y'all won the region title. That's how y'all get to host that 10 a.m. game.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations on your district titles and your region titles.
Thank you.
But just how can you get the guys up and early for a game like that at 10 a.m.?
So
what's the plan going forward, if a game's at 10 a.m.? I know the softball is playing in that afternoon. Maybe that's probably why also.
Yeah.
But just tell me why also real quick. How can you get your guys ready for that 10 a.m. slot?
So my boys, the main reason we all meld together so much is that I always let them know what's going on in my head. So whenever I'm scheming, that they know what's going on. So my plan was to get Lexington up here as early as I could, and hopefully they would be half asleep, and that would help us win the game. Which, that didn't really, it didn't go out as planned because their fans showed up before our fans did. So they were ready to go. Yeah. But so that was the plan, just get them up early, and we'll just see who comes out the bed ready to play.
Last question, state tournament. How did that feel?
It felt good being there. I got immersed in the whole experience. I love watching high level soccer. So I was watching Bartlett's game. I watched Brentwood Bearden's game. I watched the 1A games. So I was watching everything. So I love that experience of being there. The pressure was on us for sure, especially playing that number 1 seed. And my boys definitely felt that pressure. It was one of them situations where you've seen a team that's come to the playoffs all the time versus one. This is the first time ever being there. You can tell the difference in experience. So that definitely showed for us, and it was a good learning experience for us as well.
If anybody wants to follow Millington on social media, any platforms?
MCHS.boysoccer on Instagram, and then if you just search my name, Jerrett Everson, you'll find me on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Any Twitter?
No Twitter for us right now, but it's on the way though.
Anybody wants to go out and coach Everson and the Trojans in this upcoming season, 2023-2024 season, go out and watch the guys because Coach Everson does a great job for the Millington soccer program. Coach Everson, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, my take 3 this week. Another legend around this area in the Bartlett High School community right now. Alumni of Bartlett High School, too. Brandon, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it as well.
Welcome back to another episode, first of all, because we already had you a couple weeks ago. But let's just talk about like we talked with Coach Everson, and just talk about your background as well, a little bit for our fans.
Okay, so I've grown up in the Bartlett community. I played competitive soccer, most of my life, and then I played Division II soccer at Delta State and got hurt my freshman year. And after that, I was kind of like, man, I was a fighting ochre. After that, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, I ended up getting into coaching and loving it, and it's been a blessing to go back to my old school and take a lot of pride in it. And this is my 8th year coaching there and 3rd year as the head coach. Just being able to lead that program from where we were my senior year. We were sharing, girls' soccer bags and playing on the football field, and I was having to line after school with my coach to get ready for games. To now, I'm still lining, but now I am the head coach, and we just went to state for the first time ever and lost to the perennial powerhouse of soccer, Brentwood, in the semifinals of state. It's just to be the first ones ever to do that and lose to somebody who went undefeated and ended up winning the whole thing. It's bittersweet. I mean, we were competing that whole game and lost with 36 seconds left, but the fact we were there, I've got a young team, and I think it's going to do nothing but fuel them and give them belief that we can go and win the whole thing, sometime in the near future.
Yeah, same questions I'm basically going to ask you. Just talk about what your aspect of this year's, or this talent, for this city now compared to when you played.
Man, I was one of 5 competitive soccer players on, the high school team back when I played. And I was the captain, and now I've got, only 4, maybe 5 of my kids on the team in general. Of our 40 kids don't play club soccer. So it's just a big talent influx. The sport's really grown over the last few years for the city of Bartlett.
Absolutely. Now, you also played a tough non-conference schedule. And I think you did that because I called it, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, we talked about this could be now an SEC scheduling in our region now.
Yes.
So just talk about your non-conference schedule. Just got them ready for the postseason and the regular season when you get to Carville and the Houstons of the world.
So for
Cordova too, I might add.
That's true. For preseason, I scheduled MUS, CBHS, and Lausanne. And as we know, CBHS is a big powerhouse, usually rated top 5 in the state. We ended up losing to them 1-0 off a deflection. Played Lausanne, tied them 2-2, and they won their bracket of state. Yeah. And then we beat MUS 2-1. I think that preseason toughness was a good test early. And then we went down to Southern Coast Cup down in Foley. And with that, we play some great out-of-town teams. The Oklahoma team we lost to in the finals, Northwest Clawson, lost in their state semifinal. Another team we played out of Georgia, lost in their state semifinal. So we're playing, state contenders from all over the country. And, down there we lost one of our 4 returners, from last year, Ethan Watts, who had scored 10 goals leading up into that game. So we were kind of worried about who was going to score goals. And, throughout the rest of the season, we play in the SEC West, as we call it, or the Group of Death. You play Houston, you play Collierville, you play Arlington, all great programs. 2 of our 3 losses this year were to Collierville, but we beat them for a district championship. We tied Houston, beat Arlington twice. Those big games prepared us for state.
Right. Just talk about congratulations on winning the district, like you just mentioned.
Thank
Losing that heartbreaker in the region to Collierville, but still, we still have one more shot to go to state, so our season's not over yet. But just talk about that 3-hour bus ride. What can you tell the guys take a 3-hour bus ride on a sub-state game? How can the players adjust to that?
It's very tough to adjust to that, especially when you've driven 3 hours and then you get up there and the field's absolutely soaked. The field's not in the best condition, and it's the home team. They're senior heavy. Just going into that game and telling them, hey, boys, I know you're still mad about losing the regional final. Remember that feeling. This feeling's going to be way worse. You don't want to feel that again, and amplify it at that. You could be the team to be, the first in history to make state. And, Braden Lemons, a sophomore, scored a hat trick. Joseph Dawson had 2 assists. A senior, it was just a big performance from both of them.
Any players you would like to bring up? I know you are a young team, but any players?
Joseph Dawson started every game since his freshman year. He's our lone senior starter. He's going to be missed. He scored 15 goals, 11 assists, but got a lot of young guys that, start and play. So I think us losing to Brentwood's only going to fuel us for the future.
Yeah, you brought up that heartbreaker. Let's talk about that Brentwood game. Like you said, 3-2, lost with 36 seconds to go in the game. But hey, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You won that first game in school history, in the state tournament, and then you played, like you said, a powerhouse in Brentwood. But just talk about how the guys adjusted to a powerhouse team like from Brentwood?
I think us beating Laverne in the first game gave us a lot of confidence, and then we just said, all right, we're at this stage, we can beat anybody. We got our first state win, let's take it to Brentwood. They scored on us, 10 minutes in. We made some adjustments, came back, tied it with 2 minutes left, and then what people don't talk about is with 45 seconds left, we scuffed a shot in the box, and they countered on us, and that's how they scored the game winner. So we had our chances, and it just didn't go our way.
Coach Carter, congratulations on a great season. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we're here with take 4, and I'm stepping in for Jonathan on this because y'all made fun of me in my arms and that I got weak legs and all that, but we'll finish that up in a second, coaches. Congratulations on a great season, historic seasons. How did it feel just to make history?
You want to go first?
It felt, honestly, it's hard to explain. Like, it doesn't feel real, right? Because like that was the expectation for us was to make it to state. Like whenever we're in the preseason, we're like, okay, guys, we always make it to sub-state every year. The goal is to make it to state, and then when it happens, it just feels great to actually think that you accomplished something. So
yeah, when I saw your players embracing you that moment, you could really tell what y'all been through from March to that day in May. And then I was keeping up with y'all from afar, and y'all had a little roller coaster.
Yeah.
But
you just gotta have
when y'all went on the road, won that game, and you realized that y'all heading to Murfreesboro, how were you feeling in that moment?
Oh man, as an alum, it was just so surreal because I coached a game where we lost in sub-state to Houston. The last few years we hadn't made it out of district because we are playing the best of the best. And like as a coach and as a alum, that was just something crazy. And it's funny, my guys threw a whole jug of ice cold water on me after the game.
He knows how that feels too.
And what's funny about that is like you see that moment happen all the time, just in sports, and like getting that moment as a coach is just so cool. And my boys were like, Coach, we had to do it. We're sorry you got to ride home wet after the game. I said, guess what, boys? I knew you were going to win. I brought a change of clothes. And it was just so awesome to see that they knew I had that belief in them.
Wow.
that's crazy.
It's the little moments like that. Yeah. Y'all put in so much hard work. And now y'all both in similar situations where young teams. You lose some key parts, but you got a core coming back. Are we going to start to see a tradition in Millington and Bartlett?
That's my plan is, for us to, instead of being the guys that lose in district every year, for the guys that be the ones that advance out of district and sub-state every year.
Actually, I had a meeting when I coached my girls in the fall. We had a meeting and I sat them down and I said, my goal here, for as long as I'm here, I want to kind of plant a seed and hopefully grow like a good club here, in Millington. Because for a while, Millington has had talent, when it comes to soccer, but usually just 1 or 2 people. I want to be able to just grow like full teams and just like have us, I just want people to, consider us as like a threat whenever they hear Millington soccer.
So you're going to try to do it again in October, right?
That's
the
the
girls.
goal. Yeah.
Okay, they got a little history to make. They've been to sub-state a couple times. So coaching mentality. It's not just the players, not just the practice. That schedule is very crucial. And both of y'all seem to blend it nicely where y'all went on travel, played some high-level competition, took on the rivals, but you gave your kids a chance to get a breather here and there with teams that may be in the lower classification so they can get their legs back, their mind back. Talk about balancing the schedule to get a team to where they need to go.
For us, I know we're not the deepest team and we were young, so I think playing, hard games back to back to back, if, something didn't go our way, that it would probably crush some of those kids' confidence. So, finishing a super hard game with a game that, I'm not going to say was easy, but is a lighter game, to get the legs back, to get their confidence back. I think that was, my thought process there.
Well, we call it being the favorite. You go in certain games, you're not the favorite, you're the underdog. Then you go into some games where you're the clear-cut favorite. It's a balance. So, Coach, what about for you and your Trojans?
I think one thing that helps us is that we know what we need to, or what we needed to have whenever we were players. So whenever we're making these schedules, we know that if I'm playing and I'm playing a whole bunch of teams that aren't the best, we're the clear-cut favorite in every game. That doesn't help us get any better. So we have to be able to schedule games where we know it's going to push us, and whether or not we get over that hump shows if we're ready for the next step or not.
And not only do the coaches got to be on top of the game with the mental, you got to have some special players. How special are your groups? Talk about some young men that kind of stood out that made this ride special. Some of the unsung heroes.
talked about Joseph Dawson in my personal interview, but I also got a great goalkeeper, upcoming senior Donnie Cruz. He was, one of my captains. And, as a keeper, people sleep on you if you're short. That kid's, 5'9", but it's one of the best keepers in the area, and I'm blessed there. He really tried to put the team on his back and came up with some crucial saves throughout the season. And, keepers sometimes don't get the recognition they deserve, and that man's earned every bit of this recognition.
I know he can say that about Dylan. One of his captains is junior.
That was the main one I was going to bring up. Dylan, it's like it's a different breed to be a keeper. And
Dylan's a little special.
Dylan has that in him. And if it was for him in that Greenville game, that might have been a 9-0. Like, Dylan had, his performance was so impressive to the point where Greenville's head coach came up to me after the game and said that you got one hell of a keeper. Wow. Because even though we lost 6-0, Dylan made some incredible saves that game. So Dylan, and also this is his, I think, back-to-back keeper of the year. And soccer isn't even his main sport. He's a wrestler. So I mean, that just shows him like how talented he is. Another player I want to talk about though is Sergio Chigala. That's a player that didn't get a lot of play time throughout his high school career, but I knew that he's played soccer for so long that his IQ was there. I put him at center back, and he did amazing this year. Like, him and Noel locked down defense the whole year.
They made Dylan's job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So Dylan's a junior. What grade is your keeper in?
Donnie's a junior, rising senior.
Yeah, rising.
Okay. So will they play against each other next season? I'm trying to get a Bartlett Millington.
I mean, hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I would love to. Our game this year actually we had a lot of rain at the beginning of the season. Weren't able to get it back on the schedule. Both our schedules were full. Me and Coach were both not too happy about that because especially towards the end of the year, we both ended up making a state, so it would have been a good battle. Hopefully, we can get it on the schedule next year. That's the plan.
Yeah.
On my end as well.
Okay, I'm gonna leave everybody with this little note here, this tidbit. Coach Michaels, who you're familiar with, the football coach, that father of Chase Michaels, the awesome soccer player, he let me know that the Bartlett versus Millington football rivalry was the longest running continuous rivalry until the reclassifications. So somebody has to pick up the slack. It's still football, as some people like to say. I'm putting it on YouTube, gentlemen, and get that rivalry going back between Bartlett and Millington.
Yes, sir. It sounds like a good plan.
Get it going.
Well, congratulations on awesome seasons, and thank y'all for coming in and helping us with our summer recap on a great season that was.
All right, Coach Carter, thank you for coming on.
Of course, man.
Coach Everson, thank you for coming on as well.
Of course.
I enjoyed coming out, but Tom is trying to put me to shame with those biceps over there. I might have to go hit another workout.
Where y'all going?
I'm going to Esporta Fitness.
I'm going to have to go to ATC because I got to catch up with his biceps and his quads. So, yeah, got to go right now.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to go to the GP Fitness.
GP Fitness?
What is that?
What's that?
Great Pacific across the street.
Man's going to get his sushi roll on.
Please eat some vegetables.